Okay. Hey, crafters, crocheters, knitters, yarn enthusiasts. Today is Thursday, August 18th, 2022. You probably won't see this video until Sunday, August 21st. Um, I'm finally ready to give you guys my pattern for my Caron Cakes blanket. This one. Okay. I'm nervous because I've never done this kind of video before, so just hang in there with me. Alright, so my name is Jenny. Welcome to Granny Square Peg. Little bit of history. In 2020, I lost the ability to crochet after almost 40 years of crocheting because I had damaged my arm. So I had to take a break. So January of 2021, I put my crochet hook down and let my arm heal and did physical therapy like I was supposed to, and it's good now. But now it's where I can crochet, but I actually have no desire to. And so things are a little different for me now. So in January 2021, I put my hook down. In January 2022, I decided to start a YouTube channel called Granny Square Peg to help me go through my collection of crochet stuff and how much stuff I have. So that's what all my other videos are about. And when I had shown you guys this blanket, everybody wants to pattern for it. I am not a pattern writer, okay? I am the kind of person that when I want to make something, I will either follow somebody else's pattern, or most of the time, 9 times out of 10, I sit with my hook, I sit with some yarn, a piece of paper and a pencil, and I just start working and do whatever it is that I feel like doing, or whatever I'm in the mood for. Sometimes it's just single crochets, sometimes it's double crochets, sometimes it's stuff that's more intricate and complicated. And that's what I've always done, and I've always made beautiful blankets, but I just scribble some notes on the side. I'll work the pattern a few times, and then I fall in love with something else and I move on. So my notes just pile up, and over the years, I actually don't keep my notes. Once I'm done being obsessed and in love with the pattern that I created, the notes just, they float away. I have no idea where they get off to, and that's it, because I like doing new things, so I'm always working on the next pattern. So when Caron Cakes came out in 2016, it's because the company was celebrating their 100th birthday, I think. I hadn't bought any of the yarn in 2016. I didn't do it till like maybe late in 2016 and early 2017. And it's just, I loved the color combinations that they had come up with. And I loved the feel of the yarn at 80% acrylic and 20% wool. I absolutely loved the feel of it. But I couldn't find any patterns that I liked that would highlight those long color changes, because it's not like variegated yarn where your color changes are small, or something that's self-striping. I mean, does it self-stripe? It actually more like self-blocks, because it gives you blocks of color. I just couldn't find anything that I liked, and I kept looking and looking and looking, and I belong to a handful of crochet groups on Facebook, and everybody was just doing the same old things over and over and over again. And then they fell into this thing of making shawls and scarves and wraps, and I'm not a shawl, scarf, or a wrap kind of person. So I'm a blanket maker, and nothing out there was showing this yarn to its full potential and the beauty that it is. So I have stitch dictionaries for books. I don't have one on me right now. That will give you what's my favorite one? Never mind. I have a book that's stitch dictionaries, and I would just flip through them and see if I can find any kind of stitch definition that would work for me, or for the yarn and for the color changes. And I couldn't find anything there either. So just one day, I said, you know, screw it. I'm going to sit down with my hook and do what I normally do. And I just started chaining. And then I came back along with a single crochet along the chain, and I had my first row. And I'm like, okay. So with the first color that I started with, I still had a fair amount of color left. And I'm like, well, I could probably get a whole block out of that. And I did. I wound up getting row 2 and row 3 before the color had changed. And then with the color change, I got 6 rows out of it. And then their next color change, 5. So with their color, as long as these color changes are, I was getting 5 to 6 rows out of each color change. And I liked that because it made the color change subtle, that you didn't even notice when it happened in the pattern that I wrote and created. So that was in February 2017. I posted it on Facebook in a Facebook group by Sarah Zimmerman called Repeat Crafter Me, and everybody went crazy for my pattern. And they asked me if I could write it out, and I did. I wrote it out and I put it in a post in the Facebook group, and everybody loved it, and a handful of people made it. But then I realized I actually had some errors in my pattern about skipping stitches or the wording in the pattern. I had a few mistakes in it because I don't write out patterns. It was just whatever notes I had. So my pattern's just been sitting around since 2017, and I love the blanket. I made 2 of them. I made one in February 2017. That's the one I've got sitting in my lap. And then I made one in March of 2017. And then a year later, like the one I made in March, I made with Burnett Pop, because that's another yarn cake with long color changes. And I don't actually have that one with me here. It's in my pile of shame somewhere because it's not finished. So I wanted to rework my pattern to make sure that my notes were right. So in 2018, a year later, I made a second Caron Cakes blanket. And I made it shorter because I wanted to tweak my numbers and see if my original starting numbers were okay. And they were. And so now I've got 3 blankets in this pattern. 2 are Caron Cakes and 1 is Burnett Pop. And when I started with my YouTube channel and I come across it, they're finished blankets, and I was showing you guys the finished blankets. That video has over 9,000 views. So that tells me you guys really like the blankets, you really like the yarn, you really like the pattern. So I'm finally sitting here and I'm doing something about it, and I am so nervous because at some point I'm going to get my hook and the yarn and I'm going to work through the pattern with you. Okay, you're going to crochet along with me and we're going to go through my pattern. We're going to be testers to see if it's right and fix any of my errors that are in it. And at the end of all this, I will write it up in a blog post and I will put it out there on the internet so you guys can have access to it whenever you want. Okay, so my pattern is 5 years old and I gotta make sure it's got no errors in it. So it is called my Caron Cakes blanket. I need another name for it because eventually at some point Caron, the company, the yarn company, is going to find out and they're going to be like, nope, you can't use our name in your blanket pattern. So I need a new name for it. So any of you guys that are out there that are creative with naming things, let me know, because I've been so stumped for like 5 years that I haven't been able to call it anything other than my Caron Cakes blanket. Okay, so what we're going to need. You're going to need a piece of paper and a pencil and write down notes as we go along in this video, okay? You need some yarn. I did go out to my local AC Moore, not AC Moore, I went to Michael's. AC Moore closed down. I went to Michael's and I bought some Caron Cakes. I picked up what they had on the shelf. These are not my favorite colors, but I had to go with whatever they had in the store because my goodness, the price of yarn has changed in 5 years and the color selection was very limited in my craft store. So I have 1 cake of pistachio, which is greens and cream. I have 1 cake of Bumbleberry, which is all shades of purple. And we have white Truffle, which is very neutral. It's got creams, tans, and then grays in it. And you'd be like, Jenny, those colors don't match. Don't worry, they will. When the blanket is done, you'd be like, oh, yeah, okay. Alright, my ball cake number 4 is red velvet, and it's got some red and brick red and medium gray to light gray. Alright, and then cake number 5 is blueberry muffin. So it's got 4 shades of blue with something that looks like a mix between tan and beige and gray. Alright, so you know Caron Cakes are, like I said, 80% acrylic and 20% wool. This cake is 7 ounces or 200 grams, 383 yards or 350 meters, okay? It is a number 4 medium worsted weight yarn, okay? And it's I don't know what its recommended hook size is, but I'm going to be using an H, which I think is a 5mm. So hold on one second, we'll get out my hook case. Okay, a little case full of my hooks. Alright, I'm going to be using, yes, an H, and yeah, an H is a 5mm. For those people who do not do letters, it's a 5mm. Does that feel chaotic yet? Are you guys still with me? When I first originally made this blanket, I used 7 cakes of yarn, but I really didn't like my color selection at the craft store, and I'm not paying online prices for it. So with these 5, the blanket will come out a little shorter, but I think that's going to be okay. Alright, so we have our yarn, we have our hook. You're going to need a pair of scissors, because, and a little darning needles if you have them, because I use those. Oh boy. I have notes, because seriously, I've never done this before. I figure I'm going to do this like a crochet along. It's not a tutorial channel. I cannot teach you how to do a chain or a single crochet or a double crochet. I'm not here to teach you how to crochet. I'm just here to work through my pattern with you so you guys can make a blanket and so you can have the pattern that I had come up with specifically for the Caron Cakes, okay? So today is the 18th of August. I'm going to upload this video on Sunday. And I'm going to do the next video on the next Sunday, which will be the 28th. And then next Sunday, which is September 4th, and September 11th, September 18th. And hopefully by September 25th, that'll be the last video and we can be all done. So about 6 weeks, alright? Because you know that no matter how much I plan and plan and plan, life will get in the way. There will be a tornado. There'll be a car accident. Somebody will get sick, or my house will burn down. I don't know. So you can try and plan all you want, but you know, you got to build in some time for when things go wrong, okay? So August 21st to September 25th, and hopefully in those 6 weeks my videos will be getting better and better and better, and we'll have a blanket at the end of it, okay? So, pause the video, stop the video, go out to the store, go get some yarn. You can use any number 4 medium worsted weight yarn, okay? You can use solid colors and not these color changing cakes. Sorry, it's allergies. You can use any kind of yarn that you want. You can use any size hook you want. A hook that is more comfortable for you. I like the H with medium worsted weight yarn. My tension and my gauge is going to be different than yours, so sizes are going to be approximate on how long and how tall and how wide the blanket is going to be. So pause the video, go get some yarn, go get a hook, and I am going to turn myself around so you guys can just see my hands, and we'll start chaining and we'll start making a blanket, okay? I'll give you the starting chain number when I turn you guys around. I am so nervous. I've never done this before. God, the stress that goes along with this. Okay, alright, wish me luck. Okay. Yeah, I'm not ready to turn around just yet. I am starting with pistachio. I am not starting at the outside of the cake, nor am I starting on the middle of the inside of the cake, okay? I want to start with this darkest green color that's here. It's an olive green. I want to start with that. So if you don't like watching the cakes being cut apart, close your eyes and don't pay attention. But I am pulling this part out. Ready? There we go. All I did was just find the edge of this cream color, stick my fingers in there, and pull that out. So I can start with the darkest green color, which is that olive color. And yeah, I'm going to get my scissors. I'm going to cut that. I know there are some people out there who don't like doing this to their yarn, but sometimes it just doesn't start on the color that you need it to start on. Do I have a plan for this? Yeah. For the end of the blanket, if I need some more length to the blanket, I'll use this. And there we go. That hole's big enough I could stick my hand through there. We're going to start with this dark green with our chain, and the chain is multiples of 10. I'm going to be doing 170 and then plus 2 for the turn. Alright? Let's get you guys turned around. Get me turned around. Okay. Hopefully this angle works for you guys. I do not have the capacity or the ability to do this overhead. I do not have the equipment for it. So my camera's on the tripod and I'm sitting behind it. And trying to get the lighting where it'll work properly for us. No. Okay. Make sure you leave yourself a long enough tail, okay, for your starting chain. Slip knot. Put your hook in there. Tighten it up. There we go. Alright. Nice and easy, nice and slow. I like to pull out a lot of yarn to give me a lot of slack for when I'm crocheting. So, chain 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Now, we are doing multiples of 10. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Wow, this is crazy doing this around the camera. Oh, let me show you guys my notes. See, Caron Cakes blanket. Multiples of 10 for your starting chain, plus 2. My list of colors I did it the first time around, and then the pattern down here. When I finished it, the last row. The pattern kind of reminds me of like a linen stitch or grannies in a row. So that's what it's like. So multiples of 10, and I'm doing 170. Do you want me to count along out loud? No. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50. Now, you know, when you are doing a really long chain, you can use stitch markers. You can put a stitch marker every 10, every 20, every 50, whatever number works for you. that's where you put your stitch markers, so it's easier for you to count them later. Since I've been crocheting for 40 years, I don't use stitch markers on my starting chain. I will just count it obsessively and repeatedly to make sure that it's right. So that's 50 right there. Make sure your chains aren't too tight. Make sure they aren't too loose. Okay. Chains always look kind of bumpy, don't they? Alright, so that's 50 for me. 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60. Let me know if you guys want me to speed up the video, or if you want me to just do a time jump and get to the end. But right now, I'm crocheting along with you. 64, 65, 67, 68, 69, 70, 72, 73, 74, 75, 80, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 100. So there we are at 100. 70 more to go. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Twenty-one, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50. That's 150. 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70. There we go. There's a chain of 170, and this is so hard doing this around the camera. Okay, so when I say that it is multiples of 10, and I'm doing 170, and then plus 2. So this is chain 170. And then I go 1, 2. So yes, it is technically a chain of 172. But see how I'm keeping my thumb right here on number 170. Okay, this is 171, 172. I'm going to skip this first chain here and work into the second chain from the hook, okay, which is stitch number 170, and I'm going to do a single crochet. Then I'm going to do another single crochet in the next stitch, and then a single crochet in the next stitch. So there's my first 3 single crochets in my first 3 stitches, in my first 3 chains, okay. So here's the thing. Here is the first single crochet in chain number 170. And then this right here is the chain 2. It's your turning chain. I don't work in the turning chain when I come back on row 2, or when row 3, or row 4, or row 5. I do not work in the turning chain. That's a chain 2, okay? It is not a stitch. What I use it for is that as a border, it actually gives it a bumpy texture all the way up the side of the blanket. Okay, that's how I get away without making a border on this blanket. Okay, so here's our starting chain, and we are going to do a single crochet in every chain all the way back to the beginning. And when we get back to the beginning, it should be 170 single crochets. So I'm going to pause this for a minute, give my arms a break from reaching around the camera, and I'll be back with you guys in a few minutes. Alright guys, let's get this row 1 finished, huh? So, that is my first 3 single crochets. Crochet in the next, and then the next. That's 5, and I'm just going to keep crocheting from here to the end, and you'll probably hear me counting along the way. Okay, so you've seen this. It keeps curling up on me and I keep pushing it out of the way. It's fine. That's what the first row does. It curls and you just keep moving it out of the way. So that's my first 20 single crochets. You'll see that I do work in just 1 loop instead of 2 along my chain. Everybody does it a little differently. If you work in 2 loops on your chain, that's fine. If you work in just a back loop on the chain, that's fine. It's however you do it, whatever's best or easiest for you. Okay, that was number 20. That was number 40. I got quiet because I'm concentrating on my count. That was number 60. Alright, that was single crochet number 80. Alright, I'm going to pull this behind the camera and I'm going to work it to the end, and then I'll come back and I will see you at the end when it's time to do the next row. Okay, so that is chain number 160. No. Single crochet in the chain. So it's 161, 162, 163, 164, 165, 166, 167, 168, 169, 170. And I'll be honest with you guys, I got it perfectly spot on my first try. A lot of times when I get to the end, I have to rip it all out because my count's off and I got to do it all over again. But I got it right today. So that is single crochet number 170. Alright, so that is the starting chain and the first row. So we're going to do this second row, okay, because the pattern repeat is actually row 3 and 4. So for right now we're going to do row 2. And row 2 says chain 2. We are going to chain 2 and turn. Then we are going to do 2 single crochets in the first 2 stitches. I mean, not 2 single crochets in the same stitch, but 2 single crochets in the first 2 stitches. 1, 2. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. So here we go. That's our single crochet in the first stitch, single crochet in the second stitch. And then we're going to chain 2. And then we're going to skip 2. You guys know how to skip? So this is number 3, number 4. We are skipping them. And then we're going to do a single crochet in the next stitch. And then a second single crochet in the next stitch. This whole row is done in 2s. Chain 2, skip 2, 2 single crochets. 1, 2. Chain 2, skip 2, 2 single crochets. 1, 2. Okay, that's what it looks like. It's a little bumpy, but don't worry, it flattens itself out. So you see, we have this chain 2 space here. See that? Because we're going to work in that on the next row. Okay, so chain 2, skip 2, 2 single crochets. 1, 2. And that's all the way across. So row 2 is all about the 2s. We are counting in 2s all the way across. Alright, I had my camera zoom in a little bit. Hopefully you can see this a little better. I'm still fighting the light today. So chain 2, skip 2, and then do a single crochet, and then a second single crochet. I'm trying to look through my camera lens to see what it looks like. Oh, that is weird. Chain 2, skip 2, do 2 single crochet. Chain 2, skip 2, 2 single crochet. 1, 2. Okay, we're going to do that all the way across. Chain 2, skip 2, 2 single crochets. And you'll find that I say this repeatedly over and over to myself. That's how I keep track of what I'm doing. So like my family knows when I'm talking out loud like that, just leave me alone until I'm done the row, you know, because these are my foundation rows. It's what starts the blanket. So chain 2, oops, skip 2, 2 single crochets. 1, 2. Now if all goes well, at the end we will end on 2 single crochets. Chain 2, skip 2, 2 single crochets. Alright, chain 2, skip 2, 2 single crochets. Chain 2, skip 2, 2 single crochets. 1, 2. So you see how we've done the starting chain, we've done row 1, and we're doing row 2, which is the row of 2s, and I'm still on the darker color. It hasn't even changed color yet, so we're going to get a good color block out of this. And that's what I wanted with the Caron Cakes. I wanted to be able to highlight those beautiful color changes. So where was I? Chain 2, skip 2, 2 single crochet, 1, 2, chain 2, skip 2, 2 single crochet, chain 2, skip 2, 2 single crochet. Chain 2, skip 2, 2 single crochet. Chain 2, skip 2, 2 single crochet. See how fast we're going now with the row of 2s. That's what I call it. Chain 2, skip 2, 2 single crochet. And slide to the left. Take a step back. Hop to the right. What are those songs that tell you what to do? Chain 2, skip 2, 2 single crochet. Chain 2, oops, skip 2, 2 single crochet. I'm surprised that my hook doesn't slip out more often since I'm doing this around the camera. Chain 2, skip 2, 2 single crochet. Chain 2, skip 2, 2 single crochet. Okay. There we go. Alright, check that out. That's me behind the camera. Hi guys. Alright, where are we at? Chain 2. Oh, crap. I lost my rhythm. Oh, because I thought I was being cute and funny. Okay, ready? Lost my rhythm. Alright. Okay. Chain 2. Skip 2. 2 single crochet. Chain 2. Skip 2. 2 single crochet. chain 2, skip 2, 2 single crochet, 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 chain 2, skip 2, 2 single crochet. We are almost done. Look at that. Look at what's left. Almost done. And we're still on the darker green. Alright. Chain 2, skip 2, 2 single crochet. But I hope this works out. Chain 2, skip 2, 2 single crochet, chain 2, skip 2, 2 single crochet. Please work out, please work out. Yes! Haha! And you see that little lump there? That is our starting, that's our turning chain of our chain 2, and we completely ignore that. Just leave that there. It will work out, okay? Trust me, it will work out. So that is the end of row 2. And that is me behind the camera. I am reaching around, like my camera's on the tripod, and I'm reaching around to do the crocheting here, which is why my hands keep moving out of frame, and I'm sorry for that, because I'm 5'2", I'm short, and I don't have a swing arm or a boom arm to do recordings overhead. But I didn't think that was too bad, was it? I don't know. Alright, so I'm going to go sit on that side. We'll have a 5-minute chat to wrap up this video. Okay. Oh, I need a drink after all that talking. I don't know how long this video is going to be. If it's going to be too long, I hope not. I hope I didn't lose you guys yet. I hope you didn't click on the video, start watching it, say, oh my god, this is a piece of crap, and then run away. I hope it's okay. I'm not a professional at this. I am not a professional pattern writer. I just do what I want or what I feel. I'm not a professional YouTuber. I've only been doing my crochet videos since January. I've been doing book videos since October of 2021. I don't have the best equipment. I do what I can with what I have. But I want to share this with you guys. So, if the video is really crappy, I'm sorry for that. I'm doing the best I can. I want you guys to be able to have this pattern. I want you to be able to work it. I want you to be able to use up all those Caron Cakes that you bought back in 2016 and 2017, okay? And make them into pretty blankets and not just scarves and shawls and wraps, okay? I want you to be able to do that. So, our initial starting chain, row 1 is all single crochet. Row 2 is the row of 2s. You do 2 single crochet, chain 2, skip 2, 2 single crochet, all the way to the end. So right now we have 170 stitches. In row 3 and 4, we actually increase our stitch count, but the blanket will not get wider. And you'll see, because we're going to be working in the chain 2 spaces. Alright? And, let's see. I think we can get those to pop out for you. Okay, we're going to be working in the chain 2 spaces. But the rows 3 and 4, it's how you start the row and finish the row that can get a little much. So I'm not going to do that now. We're going to do that in next week's video, okay? And then row 3 and 4 is also the repeat for the whole body of the blanket. You will just repeat row 3, row 4, back and forth until you have your blanket as big as you want. So that is it for today, all right? My Caron Cakes blanket and my pattern that I just sat with a hook and yarn and pen and paper and did back in 2017. I'm going to be crocheting along with you guys, so I will have a third blanket out of Caron Cakes. The videos should come out every Sunday between now and the end of September. I'm giving us 6 weeks to get a blanket done. So you guys take your time, get your supplies together, and do what you need to do on your end. And the videos will be there. Hopefully they'll get better as we go along. And I'm writing up a blog post because I do have a blog. I'm writing up a blog post to put the pattern in words for people who do better by following the written pattern than talking through it. But I need to make sure that the pattern is right and making sure that the stitch count is right, that the terminology is right. So it's going to be a couple weeks before it's in the blog post because we are pattern testing right here. You guys are helping me being pattern testers. And then when I'm all done, the 3 blankets that I have that I made with Caron Cakes, I'm going to be selling them because I don't need them. We're in a house full of people who love blankets, and we all have our favorite blankets, and so I'm going to be selling them. So that is it for today's video. Find me on Facebook at Granny Square Peg. You can send me an email. It's grannysquarepeg@gmail.com. I do have a blog called Granny Square Peg. It's at Google. It's a blogspot. I only have a handful of posts that I started a couple years ago. And then I have an Etsy shop called Granny Square Peg at Etsy. So you guys can find me in all those places. And I will see you next week for rows 3 and 4 in making our Caron Cakes blanket, okay? Thank you for being here, and I will see you next week. Bye.